What's up guys, it's Trevor here. Most people overestimate what they can achieve in 10 years, but actually underestimate what they can achieve in just 1 year. If you want to become a multi-millionaire, then listen up. I'm going to be giving you the exact blueprint to go from zero to multi-millionaire in just 10 years or less. Before we begin, there are some things that I do want to mention. This is not going to be easy, and there's going to be sacrifices that are going to be needed to achieve this goal. The blueprint's actually very simple, but most people don't get there because they don't stick to these rules long enough to see these compound over time or to see progression or results. But I truly believe, and I will bet $100 if you do this for long enough, for those 10 years, you will become a multi-millionaire following this blueprint. It's so simple that I'll cover it in this 15-minute video. Alright, let's get started. The number one rule is going to be living like you're completely broke. The quote says, "The rich stay rich because they spend like the poor, but the poor stays poor because they try to look like the rich." And this is very, very prevalent in today's society because if you look around, most people, I'm not saying all of the people that have designer bags, that have nice cars, a lot of those people are actually paying those cars, leasing those cars. They're heavily in debt, and they're actually not financially stable like you would assume they are based on what they have materialistically. You need to live under your means, or your spend will override your income and you'll be starting over from zero or even negative again and again. So you need to get this stuck in your mind, because if you spend more than you make, you're not actually moving up in the hierarchy of wealth. It's very simple. It doesn't need to be as complicated like you think it is. You just need to make a simple spreadsheet seeing how much income is coming in minus all the expenses that are out, and that is how much you're able to take home. And what you take home with this income really depends on if you're going to build your wealth. If you spend all that income, then you'll be starting over again. But if you invest a portion of it, in the majority of it, 60 to 90% of it, then you'll be actually building your wealth and moving up in the hierarchy of becoming wealthy. This step is probably going to be the hardest out of all the other steps because, like myself, I like to buy materialistic things, and I suppose that you like materialistic things also. This step is probably going to be the hardest out of all the other steps because it's so easy to spend money on random things that you just don't need. You are bombarded with ads every single day when you're scrolling YouTube, scrolling social media. I believe the average person is seeing over 100+ ads per day just everywhere. So it's very, very easy, and the market is always trying to sell to you. But if you can ignore all those ads and just focus on what you need, the essentials, then you'll be perfect. Now, there is one exception to this, and this is if you already own some sort of business and you already have cash flow coming in, then I really do like investing back in your business, because your business will probably see a higher ROI, meaning return on your investment, compared to investing in stocks or even real estate. Because if every dollar that you spend in your business, you can get $2 back, then there's no other investment that you can get compared to running and reinvesting back in your business. I'll show you something, for example. So this laptop right here is for my business. This camera that I'm shooting on is also for my business. These all produce income. Now, how does the laptop produce income? Well, basically, you can see that I have another computer over here. Well, when I'm not at home and not available to my desk setup, I have this laptop where I can take it with me and I can manage my business on the go. This is very, very important because I'm not always going to be able to be at my desk answering emails, answering my employees, and things like that. Now, with the camera, this indirectly makes me income because I am monetized on YouTube. Yes, it does not make me a ton of income, but nevertheless, it does make me income month to month. Things like this, and if you already have some sort of business, then it's very important to reinvest back in your business, because that will see the highest ROI of all. Step number 2 to become a multimillionaire and retire early in just 10 years is going to be getting out of debt. Now, debt, like most people would think, is bad, and I would say so. Yes, usually when we're talking about the majority of people, debt is bad for most people. Now, if you're advanced, then you know there is a difference between good debt and bad debt. In short, good debt is debt that can indirectly make you money. So let's say real estate or borrowing for funds for your business. Very specific ways that debt can actually help you leverage and make you more money. Those are good debt. But bad debt, which are probably the majority of you guys watching, are going to be consumer debt, credit card debt, car bills. Does the car make you money? If it does, then it's good debt. If it does not, then it's bad. Obviously, most people will need a car to get to their job. However, the point is that you want to pay down all your bad debt, the debt that does not indirectly make you money. Now, probably the only debt that you should realistically have is going to be your mortgage. You should be able to pay that down over the time span that you bought the home for. So let's say 15 or 30 years, always go for a 30-year. What Dave Ramsey says is very, very true. Now, I personally don't like Dave Ramsey based on his advice, but for most people, his advice is very solid. And the only reason I don't like his advice is because I'm an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs take risks, and entrepreneurs take risks to make money. One of the things that I don't believe within Dave Ramsey's philosophy is using credit cards. Now, he strongly hates credit cards if you know anything about Dave Ramsey. However, I use credit cards strongly in my business, and I've not paid a single penny in interest. If you do this right, credit cards can make you a ton of money extra to your business, give you free rewards, and also build your credit where it will be very useful when you're going to buy rental real estate or even need a loan for anything. Lastly, part of step 2 is going to be having an emergency fund. An emergency fund is very, very important, and you should have about 6 months worth of it stashed away in a high yield interest bank account. Now, if you need a good bank for a high interest account, is going to be two of my favorites. Is going to be Ally Bank, which is no longer probably the highest, and then American Express also offers a savings account, which now those two are probably going to be the highest compared to your typical bank that pays 0.001% interest. So use those if you're going to put money aside for an emergency fund, because yes, it's going to lose some money due to inflation, but it's also important to have an emergency fund, but also neglect part of the interest by having a high yield interest savings account. Now, there's 2 more steps to retire early in just 10 years. Now, this third step, I'm going to be combining a bunch of different rules into this. Step number 3, you're going to need to save like crazy, reduce expenses, and invest consistently. I'm grouping this all into one because there's really no need to have that much of an explanation. Basically, you just need to cut back on your subscriptions. Most likely you have Amazon Prime, Netflix, or some other subscription. You can delete those. Honestly, you don't need it. You can, if you want some sort of entertainment, YouTube is free. There's really no need to have a Netflix subscription. You basically need to cut back on all the things that are eating into your month-to-month income. Subscriptions is number 1. Things like car insurance, you could look for a cheaper car insurance rate, remortgage your house, maybe for a lower interest rate, and things like that. You just need to look around ways to cut back on your current living situation. I bet there is many ways right now just you can save up to a few $100s just by switching at things here and there every single month, where you can take that extra income and reinvest it. And speaking of reinvesting, investing consistently is also part of step number 3, because if you don't invest, your money is not growing for you. It's not working for you. And if you want to build wealth, you need to use money to work for you. Most Americans have little to no savings, and it's very worrying how they can actually enjoy life when, if they have an accident, they have nothing in reserves, nothing in backup to pay for it. Most Americans, every paycheck that they get, it goes pay off the expenses, and then they spend the rest. You cannot do this. You need to leverage your 401ks, HSAs, Roth IRAs that your job provides, if it does, and take advantage of this. In some employers, where they can match your 401 benefits, so if you invest $100, they'll invest $100 for you, so that way you're investing $200 for just $100. And this is completely tax-free, where you can take that money out when you're 60 without paying a single penny in taxes. Once you have this figured out, all this 401k, HSA, Roth IRA business, is that you need to set up a recurring investment and buy an index fund consistently. And the reason why I'm saying an index fund rather than individual stocks is because it's very simple. Index funds are diversified, cheap to maintain, and will get you, usually will beat out most of the majority of stocks, 99% of stocks, 99% of the time. So usually S&P 500 ETF index fund, we'll see about a 10% return year over year. Now this is just an average and it's not guaranteed, but based on the history that we have from the S&P 500 ETF. Alright, so step number 4 is going to be increasing your income. This step is probably going to be the one where I cannot pinpoint exactly what you need to do, but I can give you a general outline and guidelines that you should follow. At this stage, you should have followed all those other past 3 steps where basically you paid off your debt, you have some sort of job, you have recurring income, and you're investing consistently. This is where at this stage you should have followed these 3 steps, and if you haven't or don't implement this step just yet, the general blueprint is that every day after work you have spare time. If you work 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. then you have that time 5 o'clock till 10 or whichever time that you actually go to sleep to build additional stream of income. This is the time after work that you need to be utilizing because you only have a certain limited amount of free time every single day. You need to be looking to increase your income or add another stream of income instead of watching Netflix. There's many ways you can build another stream of income. You can start a side hustle, you can start a business. The general gist of everything is that if you want to build something, you need to have these general criteria. And after being in so many businesses, it's so important that you follow these criteria because there are certain businesses that are better than others. Why I don't spend time working on those that are short term and things like that. So the general criteria is your business should have sustainability. Is this business a quick cash grab or is this something that you can build off long term? YouTube is something that I could do long term. I generally like making videos, although I don't really enjoy editing. It's not that bad. So I can see myself doing this long term. It's not going to be a quick cash grab and go, because the moment I stop posting, my views will drop and my income will go to 0. So generally, if I stick long enough through this YouTube journey, then it will be rewarding in the long term. So sustainability is number 1. Income potential. How much can I make from this business? With YouTube, you can potentially make as much money as you want. Creators like PewDiePie have 100 million subscribers, so that just means that there's so many people out there. Don't ever think that business is saturated. I don't believe in saturation no matter what. There's always a market for you to have a piece of that pie. Number 3, outsource. Can this business be outsourced? With starting a business, you don't want to be working inside your business. You probably heard this a dozen times. You want to be working on your business. Now with YouTube, it's a bit difficult because you need to actually record the content, but part of that business can be outsourced, like editing. You can hire an editor, you can hire someone to make the thumbnail, you can hire someone to script out the video. Things like this can be outsourced. And if you're looking for a business, find something that you can relatively have parts of it outsourced so you can save time, because at the end of the day, a business is there to buy your time back. It's a long-term investment. Number 4, it's going to be risk versus reward. How much time and money do I have to put in to see results? Now YouTube is something that is probably going to be very, very, very high risk versus high reward. It's kind of hard to explain because most YouTubers actually don't make that much money, and the reason is because, like what I observed from Mr. Beast, is the content needs to be good. The majority of the content on YouTube is just bad because we have so many creators that are out there creating even better and better content every day. So Marquez Brownlee, just one great example. His videos are like 100 times better than me. His editing is much better than mine. And the reason, and YouTube is really just a competition. Who can create the best videos will usually get more views, more subscribers, and all the perks of having more views and subscribers. So what you need to do is find a business that can fit preferably all 4 of these criterias and then go for it. I truly believe that anybody can succeed if you have the right knowledge. So if you need to take a course about that specific subject and then go in and stay consistent, and you will see results. Generally, I believe anyone can succeed with online business or any sort of side hustle if you stick to it long enough and actually adapt to what's working and what's not working and keep evolving as an entrepreneur. Now, if you follow these steps to the T, I will guarantee that you will become wealthy in just 10 years. In just 10 years, starting with $0 in your bank account. The important part is to stick to this and not overcomplicate it, because generally the road to building wealth is fairly simple, like I just highlighted in this video. But the reason why most people are not wealthy is because they don't follow this simple video. It's simple and they think there's more to it, but realistically it's not. Live under your means, invest, and increase your income. It's really that simple. It does not have to be more complicated than that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Check out these 2 other videos about personal finance and building your wealth, and I'll see you guys in the next one.